Procrastination is the bad habit of putting off until the day after tomorrow what should have been done yesterday. Napoleon Hill. Let that sink in. Because right now, somewhere in your life, there's a project, a goal, a decision waiting. Not because it's impossible, but because you've been stuck, waiting for the perfect moment that will never come. Picture it. That unfinished idea, that life-changing step, sitting in the corner of your mind, buried under fear and excuses. It haunts you, not because you failed, but because you never even started. This is the silent killer of dreams. Procrastination doesn't feel violent, but it's ruthless. It robs you slowly, with every delay, every hesitation, every time you say, maybe tomorrow. Napoleon Hill saw this in people who drifted through life, talented, capable, intelligent, yet paralyzed by comfort and indecision. And here's the harsh truth. If you don't act, you become your own greatest obstacle. How many opportunities have slipped through your fingers because you chose to wait? Wait for the fear to pass. Wait for the motivation to arrive. Wait until you felt ready. But motivation doesn't strike like lightning. It rises after you move. It grows with momentum. And every time you act, even when you're afraid, you weaken the grip of procrastination. Hill himself didn't wait. When the chance came to interview Andrew Carnegie, he said yes, even though he had doubts, fears, and no guarantee of success. He moved. He acted. And the rest is history. Look at your life right now. Where are you postponing progress? Where are you choosing comfort over calling, hesitation over purpose? Because every excuse you make is a brick in the wall between you and your potential. Success belongs to those who act. Not once, not perfectly, but relentlessly. So stop waiting. Start building. Take the first bold step and keep stepping. Failure to decide is another major barrier. Hill stressed that indecision paralyzes progress, as vague ideas without commitment fade into nothing. The world makes room for those who know where they're going, as Hill said, yet indecision leaves you wandering, lost in a fog of uncertainty. Consider journaling your indecisive habits as a practical exercise to uncover and confront them, turning hesitation into clarity. Fear and uncertainty erode your confidence, manifesting as constant hesitation, much like the 6 basic fears Hill outlined in Think and Grow Rich. In relatable scenarios, such as fearing rejection in a new venture, these fears hold you back. But Hill's antidote is clear. Bold action dispels them. As these psychological barriers build, they create a wall around your ambitions. But remember, uncertainty is normal. It's conquerable through deliberate steps. Now, let's shift to the solution. The power of immediate action, where even imperfect steps generate momentum, as Hill believed action is the true measure of intelligence. Starting small creates a positive feedback loop, building confidence and motivation, just as Hill advised for turning hesitation into lasting habit. Picture someone launching a business despite uncertainties, inching forward to real progress, inspired by Hill's principles. Strengthening decisiveness means making firm decisions, drawing from Hill's mastermind concept, where resolve and collaboration fuel success. Try setting deadlines or finding an accountability partner to eliminate doubt, echoing Hill's advice on focus and repetition. Practice the first step today. Identify one task you've been avoiding and commit to it within the next 24 hours, as Hill urged. Remember, don't wait for the time to be just right. Start where you stand, and watch as action transforms your reality. Overcoming hesitation and fear requires facing them head-on, using Hill's teachings on transmuting negative emotions into fuel for growth. Employ visualization techniques, like affirming, "I am capable of overcoming this fear," to build resilience and shatter self-limiting beliefs. As Hill shared through examples of successful individuals, taking action neutralizes fear, turning setbacks into stepping stones. Learning from failure is essential. Hill viewed it as carrying the seed of equivalent advantage, a lesson born from his own struggles. Reframe your mindset to see failures not as defeats, but as valuable lessons that prevent future hesitation and strengthen your resolve. Journal your failures and extract insights from them, creating a roadmap to avoid repeating mistakes and embrace bolder actions. Build self-discipline as the foundation for sustained change, for as Hill stated, it begins with mastering your thoughts and habits. Hill's framework emphasizes daily routines to cultivate willpower, turning discipline into your greatest ally against procrastination. Though challenges like inconsistency arise, the rewards of discipline, steady progress, and unshakable confidence are worth every effort. Practice positive habits to replace old patterns, such as rising early or prioritizing tasks, inspired by Hill's habit-forming strategies. Commit to a 30-day challenge for these habits, and soon you'll see how they integrate into your life, breaking the chains of inertia. Creating a clear vision and goals is the fuel for motivation, as Hill's definite chief aim transforms abstract desires into tangible achievements. Clear goals provide direction, combating hesitation by turning wishes into actionable plans that you can review and refine daily. Follow Hill's method. Write down your goals and break them into steps, starting with the easiest to build momentum and confidence. For instance, list 3 goals today, then divide each into 3 actionable steps. Begin with one right away to ignite your progress. As Hill wisely noted, a goal without a plan is just a wish. So make yours concrete and watch your patterns shatter under purposeful action. Consider the real-life story of Henry Ford, who, as Hill profiled, broke through failures by acting decisively and persisting against all odds. Ford's journey teaches that hesitation can be turned into triumph through resolve, much like you can in your own life. What pattern will you break? In conclusion, remember that motivation follows action, not the other way around, as Hill's wisdom guides us to achieve through decisiveness and discipline. Don't wait. Take that step now and build your success story. Procrastination is the bad habit of putting off until the day after tomorrow what should have been done yesterday. As Napoleon Hill wisely observed in Think and Grow Rich, this self-imposed trap keeps you stuck in unproductive patterns, draining your energy and stifling your potential. Imagine staring at your unfinished project, knowing it's the key to your success, but feeling paralyzed by doubt. How many opportunities have slipped away because you waited for the right moment? The emotional toll is immense, filled with regret, frustration, and self-doubt that erode your confidence over time. Common patterns like delaying decisions or avoiding risks only reinforce a cycle of inaction. As Hill warned, is the greatest enemy of progress. True progress comes from action, not waiting for motivation or perfect conditions. Echoing Hill's principle that success is achieved by those who try and keep trying. What if the key to breaking your patterns lies not in feeling ready, but in simply starting? Now, let's delve into why you don't take action, starting with the myth that motivation must precede it. Waiting for motivation creates a vicious cycle of inaction, as Hill taught through his concept of autosuggestion and the power of habit. Hill's perspective is clear. Motivation is a result of action, not the cause, as he discovered when interviewing successful people like Andrew Carnegie despite his own initial doubts. In real life, this manifests as postponing a job application or skipping a workout, leading to missed opportunities and reinforced laziness. Failure to decide is another major obstacle, aligning with Hill's emphasis on definite decision as a cornerstone of success in Think and Grow Rich. Indecision stems from vague ideas without commitment, causing paralysis that holds you back from your goals. As Hill quoted, "The world has a habit of making room for the man whose words and actions show that he knows where he is going." To combat this, try a simple exercise. Journal your indecisive habits tonight and identify one to address tomorrow. Fear and uncertainty further erode confidence, as Hill detailed in his chapter on the 6 basic fears in Think and Grow Rich. These fears manifest as hesitation in relatable scenarios, like fearing rejection when starting a new venture. The psychological effects include constant doubt that prevents you from moving forward, trapping you in familiar, unproductive patterns. Hill's antidote is straightforward. The only way to dispel fear is through bold action, turning uncertainty into opportunity. Shifting to the solution, the power of action lies in taking immediate, imperfect steps to generate momentum, as Hill believed action is the real measure of intelligence. Starting small creates a positive feedback loop, building motivation and confidence just as Hill advised. For example, launching a business despite uncertainties can lead to real progress and breakthroughs. Strengthening decisiveness involves making firm decisions, drawing from Hill's mastermind principle where collaboration and resolve drive success. Practical techniques include setting strict deadlines or finding an accountability partner to eliminate doubt through focused repetition. Practice the first step by identifying one task you've been avoiding and committing to it within the next 24 hours, echoing Hill's concept of definite beginnings. As Hill said, "Do not wait. The time will never be just right. Start where you stand." Overcoming hesitation and fear requires facing them head-on, using Hill's teachings on transmuting negative emotions into positive drive. Strategies like visualization and autosuggestion can help. Affirm to yourself, "I am capable of overcoming this fear," as Hill recommended. The outcomes build resilience, much like the successful individuals Hill profiled who turned setbacks into stepping stones. Learning from failure positions it as a valuable teacher, aligning with Hill's view that every failure brings with it the seed of an equivalent advantage. Reframe your mindset by viewing failures as lessons, drawing from Hill's own struggles before he wrote his groundbreaking books. Actionable tips include journaling your failures and extracting insights to prevent future hesitation and break free from old patterns. Build self-discipline as the foundation for sustained change, for as Hill stated, self-discipline begins with the mastery of thought. Discipline, not fleeting emotion, drives progress, forming the core of Hill's framework for habit formation and persistence. Daily routines for building willpower, like Hill suggested, can transform your life by replacing chaos with structure. Challenges like maintaining consistency are common, but the rewards include long-term success and unbreakable momentum. Practice positive habits to support your goals, inspired by Hill's strategies for habit formation. Specific habits, such as early rising or task prioritization, can be adopted through a 30-day challenge to make change stick. Integration means actively replacing negative habits with positive ones, directly breaking the patterns that hold you back. Create a clear vision and goals to fuel your motivation, as Hill emphasized with his definite chief aim in Think and Grow Rich. Clear goals provide direction, turning abstract desires into tangible progress and combating the hesitation that derails you. Hill's method involves writing down your goals and reviewing them daily to keep your focus sharp and your actions aligned. The next step is to define and break down your goals into manageable parts. Try this exercise. List 3 goals, then break each into 3 actionable steps. Start with the easiest one today. Remember Hill's principle that a goal without a plan is just a wish, urging you to act now for real results. For a real-life example, consider Napoleon Hill's own story, or that of Henry Ford, who succeeded by acting despite fear. Ford broke patterns of failure through decisive action and persistence, as detailed in Hill's works, turning hesitation into triumph. Lessons from Ford's life show that even in the face of setbacks, resolve can lead to groundbreaking achievements. What pattern in your life could you break with similar resolve, asking yourself to apply these principles today? In conclusion, reinforce that motivation follows action, not vice versa, echoing Hill's timeless wisdom. The starting point of all achievement is desire, but the finishing point is action, as Hill taught us. Key recap. From understanding why you hesitate to building self-discipline and setting clear goals, breaking patterns is within your reach. Don't wait. Choose one action from this script and do it now, embracing Hill's philosophy for personal transformation. Remember, as Hill said, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve, if you take that first step. Your pattern breaks today. Start building your success story with the discipline and decisiveness you've learned. Let this be the moment you commit to change, drawing strength from Hill's enduring principles. Go forth with confidence, knowing that every action you take today paves the way for a brighter, more empowered tomorrow. Procrastination is the bad habit of putting off until the day after tomorrow what should have been done yesterday. As Napoleon Hill wisely stated in Think and Grow Rich, setting the stage for our journey today. Imagine yourself trapped in a cycle of hesitation, where every dream feels just out of reach because you've convinced yourself that tomorrow is always better than today. This self-imposed trap of stagnation robs you of your potential, echoing Hill's concept of definite purpose, where undefined goals lead to mental drift and unfulfilled ambitions. How many opportunities have slipped through your fingers simply because you waited for the perfect moment, only to watch it fade away? The emotional toll is immense. Regret builds like a weight on your shoulders. Frustration boils over into self-doubt, and you find yourself stuck in the same unproductive patterns day after day. Think about those daily habits, like delaying decisions or avoiding risks, that keep you comfortably numb, just as Hill warned that inaction is the greatest enemy of progress. But here's the truth. True progress doesn't wait for motivation. It demands action, as Hill emphasized in his principle of decisive movement. What if the key to breaking your patterns lies not in feeling ready, but in simply starting, forcing yourself to take that first bold step? Now, let's explore why you often don't take action, starting with the myth that motivation must come first, a trap Hill dismantled through his teachings on autosuggestion. Hill knew from his own experiences, like interviewing titans such as Andrew Carnegie despite his initial doubts, that motivation is a result of action, not the cause. This belief creates a vicious cycle. Waiting for inspiration leads to more waiting, and soon, missed opportunities pile up, whether it's postponing a job application or skipping the crucial workout. In real life, this pattern reinforces laziness, turning potential successes into regrets, as Hill observed in those who let fear dictate their choices. Another major obstacle is the failure to decide, which Hill pinpointed as a cornerstone of failure in Think and Grow Rich. Indecision stems from vague ideas without commitment, leading to paralysis that stifles your growth. Much like Hill's quote, "The world has a habit of making room for the man whose words and actions show that he knows where he is going." The consequences are clear. Without firm decisions, you drift aimlessly, missing out on the momentum that could propel you forward. To combat this, try a simple exercise. Take a moment to journal your indecisive habits, identifying one decision you've been avoiding and committing to it on paper. Fear and uncertainty only amplify this paralysis, as Hill detailed in his chapter on the 6 basic fears, where doubt erodes your confidence like a slow poison. These fears manifest in everyday scenarios, like hesitating to pitch a new idea for fear of rejection, holding you back from the life you deserve. Yet, as Hill taught, the only way to dispel fear is through bold action, turning uncertainty into a conquerable challenge rather than an insurmountable wall. Shifting to the solution, the power of immediate action is your greatest ally, as Hill believed that action is the real measure of intelligence. By starting small, even imperfectly, you generate momentum that builds confidence and motivation, creating a positive feedback loop Hill advocated for. For instance, imagine launching a small business despite uncertainties. Just as Hill advised, one step forward can turn hesitation into a powerful habit. The benefits are transformative. Action breeds success, breaking the chains of stagnation and opening doors you never thought possible. To strengthen decisiveness, embrace Hill's mastermind principle, where collaboration and resolve turn vague intentions into concrete achievements. Practical techniques include setting strict deadlines for your goals or finding an accountability partner to keep you on track, eliminating doubt through focused repetition. Now, practice. The first step, as Hill suggested, identify one task you've been avoiding and commit to it within the next 24 hours, no matter how small. Remember, as Hill said, do not wait. The time will never be just right. Start where you stand and work with whatever tools you may have. Overcoming hesitation and fear requires facing them head-on, using Hill's teachings on transmuting negative emotions into fuel for growth. Strategies like visualization can help. Affirm to yourself, I am capable of overcoming this fear, drawing from Hill's auto-suggestion methods to rewire your mindset. The outcomes are empowering. Each conquered fear builds resilience, much like the successful individuals Hill profiled who turned setbacks into comebacks. Learning from failure is essential, as Hill viewed it as a stepping stone, stating that every failure brings with it the seed of an equivalent advantage. Reframe your mindset. Instead of seeing failure as defeat, extract lessons from it, just as Hill did in his own struggles before writing his groundbreaking books. Actionable tips include journaling your failures and analyzing what went wrong, turning those insights into tools to prevent future hesitation. Building self-discipline is the foundation for sustained change, as Hill declared. Self-discipline begins with the mastery of thought. Without discipline, emotions rule your actions, but Hill's framework shows that daily routines build the willpower needed for long-term success. Address common pitfalls like inconsistency and focus on the rewards. A disciplined life leads to greater achievements and a sense of control. To practice positive habits, replace negative patterns with ones that support your goals, inspired by Hill's habit-forming strategies. Specific habits might include rising early each day or prioritizing tasks. Try a 30-day challenge to make these stick and transform your routine. Integration is key. By swapping out old, unproductive habits for new ones, you're actively breaking the patterns that hold you back. Creating a clear vision and goals is what fuels your motivation, as Hill's definite chief aim turns abstract desires into tangible progress. The benefits are profound. Clear goals combat hesitation by providing direction, making every step feel purposeful and aligned with your purpose. Follow Hill's method. Write down your goals and review them daily, turning wishes into actionable plans that drive real change. As a final prompt, list 3 goals right now, break each into 3 steps, and start with the easiest one today. Remember, as Hill taught, a goal without a plan is just a wish. Procrastination is the bad habit of putting off until the day after tomorrow what should have been done yesterday, as Napoleon Hill wisely observed. This self-imposed trap keeps us stuck in unproductive patterns, draining our energy and stifling our potential. Imagine staring at your unfinished project, knowing it's the key to your success, but feeling paralyzed by doubt, just as Hill described in those who fail to act on their ideas. The emotional toll is immense, with regret and frustration building like a storm you can't escape. How many opportunities have slipped away because you waited for the right moment? These common patterns, like delaying decisions or avoiding risks, stem from a lack of definite purpose, as Hill emphasized. Daily habits of succumbing to comfort only reinforce inaction, the greatest enemy of progress. True progress comes from action, not waiting for motivation or perfect conditions. As Hill taught, success is achieved and maintained by those who try and keep trying. What if the key to breaking your patterns lies not in feeling ready, but in simply starting? Now, let's explore why you don't take action, starting with the myth that motivation must come first. Hill's teachings on autosuggestion reveal that motivation is a result of action, not the cause, creating a vicious cycle of delay. For instance, postponing a job application might seem harmless, but it leads to missed opportunities and reinforced laziness. Hill himself interviewed successful people like Andrew Carnegie despite his initial doubts, proving that action breeds motivation. Indecision is another major obstacle, as Hill highlighted in Think and Grow Rich, where definite decision is a cornerstone of success. Vague ideas without commitment lead to paralysis, as the world makes room only for those who know where they're going. Consider how indecision causes you to drift through life, missing out on the achievements that could be yours. To combat this, try a simple exercise. Journal your indecisive habits and identify one to address today. Fear and uncertainty erode confidence, as Hill outlined in his chapter on the 6 basic fears. These fears manifest as hesitation, like fearing rejection in a new venture, holding you back from your true potential. As Hill taught, the only way to dispel fear is through bold action, turning uncertainty into opportunity. Now, shift to the solution. Embrace the power of immediate action, as it's the real measure of intelligence according to Hill. Starting small creates a positive feedback loop, building motivation and confidence with each step forward. Just as Hill advised, one step can turn hesitation into a powerful habit, propelling you towards success. For example, launching a business despite uncertainties mirrors Hill's principles and leads to real progress. Strengthening decisiveness involves making firm decisions, drawing from Hill's mastermind principle of collaboration and resolve. Practical techniques include setting deadlines or finding an accountability partner to eliminate doubt. As Hill suggested, repetition and focus can transform indecision into decisive action. Practice the first step by identifying one task you've been avoiding and committing to it in the next 24 hours. Remember Hill's words, "Do not wait. The time will never be just right." Start where you stand. Overcoming hesitation and fear requires facing them head-on, using Hill's teachings on transmuting negative emotions. Strategies like visualization and autosuggestion affirm your capability, such as repeating, "I am capable of overcoming this fear." This builds resilience, as Hill showed through examples of successful individuals who turned setbacks into comebacks. Learning from failure is essential, as Hill viewed it as a stepping stone, bringing the seed of an equivalent advantage. Reframe your mindset to see failures as lessons, much like Hill's own struggles before writing his influential books. Actionable tips include journaling your failures and extracting insights to prevent future hesitation. Build self-discipline as the foundation for sustained change, for as Hill stated, it begins with the mastery of thought. Hill's framework involves daily routines to build willpower, turning discipline into your greatest ally. Common pitfalls like inconsistency can be overcome by focusing on the long-term rewards of persistence. Practice positive habits to support your goals, inspired by Hill's strategies for habit formation. Specific habits, such as early rising or task prioritization, can be adopted through a 30-day challenge. By replacing negative habits with positive ones, you're actively breaking the patterns that hold you back. Create a clear vision and goals to fuel your motivation, as Hill's definite chief aim provides direction and combats hesitation. Clear goals turn abstract desires into tangible progress, making your path forward unmistakable. Follow Hill's method. Write down your goals and review them daily to keep your focus sharp. For the next step, list 3 goals. Break each into actionable steps, and start with the easiest one today. As Hill emphasized, a goal without a plan is just a wish. Make yours a reality through deliberate action. To inspire you further, consider a real-life example like Henry Ford, who succeeded by acting despite fear, as Hill profiled. Ford broke patterns of failure through decisive action and persistence, turning hesitation into triumph. The lessons are clear. Like Ford, you can overcome obstacles by taking that first step with resolve. What pattern in your life could you break with similar determination? In conclusion, remember that motivation follows action, as Hill's timeless wisdom reminds us. The starting point of all achievement is desire, but the finishing point is action.